ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. So we're still discussing the times of Salah. The last we discussed was Asr, right? So we said Asr time finishes when the sun is completely off the horizon. So as long as the sun is still there, as long as the sun is still there, you can still perform your Asr. So like I told you, I mentioned, say for instance, half of the sun is below the horizon, or even three-quarters of the sun is below the horizon, and only a quarter of the sun is above the horizon, not the raised actual sun, you can still read your Asr namaz, right? And even if you finish your Asr namaz when the sun has disappeared completely, still your Asr is done. So there's a lot of flexibility. So even if see, there's a whole sun here, right? Say for instance, this is the whole sun here. So even if such a portion of the sun, see, there's a tip there, it's above the horizon, and you start your Asr, and then you finish your Asr while the sun is missing already, your Asr is done. So there's a lot of flexibility, and we'll do that, inshallah. We'll tell you why there's so much flexibility in Asr. It will come later on the kitab. It will come in one of the other kitabs, right? So, read وأول وقت المغربي, right? وأول وقت المغرب إذا غربت الشمس. The first time of Maghrib is when the sun has disappeared. So like I told you now, just now, right? Even if a portion of the sun is on the horizon, you say you can read Asr. But once the entire sun is below the horizon, now it is Maghrib time. Now again also, no matter how bright the sky can be bright, bright, bright. The sky can even be yellow or it can be red. Doesn't matter. So long as the sun has disappeared. The actual, Urdu say tikia, the circle, the round. Once that has disappeared, your your Maghrib time is in, right? So وأول وقت المغرب إذا غربت الشمس, right? So the first time of Maghrib is once the sun has set, right? Carry on, right? وآخر وقتها ما لم يغب الشفق, and the last time, as long as, for the time being here, right? Just take shafaq to mean twilight, right? Just take it to mean twilight. وآخر وقتها ما لم يغب الشفق, as long as the twilight has not disappeared. So the twilight refers to that light that you see after sunset. After sunset, there's a light in the sky. In fact, to be precise, after sunset, immediately the moment the sun sets, after that, you will see there's a redness in the sky for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And after that, there is a whiteness in the sky, right? So we'll do a bit more details of this just now. But for the time being, just take it to me like this, that Maghrib time will finish when the twilight, when the light in the sky disappears. You understood? There's no more light in the sky. So وأول وقت المغرب إذا غربت الشمس, the first time of Maghrib is once the sun has disappeared completely, not the rays. I'm sure you must have experienced this. You must have seen it sometime in your life. You look at the horizon, you see the horizon is bright, 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 but the sun is gone, no problem, right? Then, وَآخِرُ حَقِّهَا مَا لَمْ يَغِبِ الشَّفَقُ, the last time is when the light on the horizon, whatever light is on the horizon is there, it disappears. You understood that? Right, carry on. ما يصلى فيه ثلاث ركعات. So I told you, you got ما يصلى. ما يصلى فيه ثلاث ركعات. That makes 100% sense. Yeah, there's an iPad. So see, here in the kitab, I don't think the Shafi fatwa is this. Like how in the Hanafi madhab, you get Imam Hanifa's call, you get the Imam Hanifa's Zahir riwayat, you get Imam Hanifa's Nadiru riwayat. Also, we get Imam Muhammad's call. Sometimes the fatwa is on this, sometimes same thing like that. Also, the Shafi, you also get, I'm not good of the Shafi madhab, but I know you get the Qawla Jadid and you call it Qadim. Qawla Jadid, Qadim is his original opinion, and the Qawla Jadid is the new opinion. So sometimes also the fatwa changes. They'll say in the Shafi madhab, here the fatwa is on the Qawla Qadim, or here the fatwa is in the Qawla Jadid, etc., etc. So same here, I don't think the fatwa is in the Shafi madhab is on this, but it is an opinion in the Shafi madhab. So maybe according to Sahib Hidayah, this was the opinion. We can ask our Shafi ulama there, Mulana Rashid and Mulana Ismail. But nevertheless, for the purpose of just understanding Kitab, here it says that the madhab in the Shafi madhab is that, once sunset, the amount of time that it takes to read 3 rakats namaz, that is Maghrib. Beyond that, Maghrib time does not go beyond it. Maghrib time does not go beyond it. But as I said, I don't think the Shafi fatwa is on this. This may be opinion within the Shafi madhab. So see there. وقال الشافعي مقدار ما يصلى فيه 3 ركعات. So Imam Shafi says the time or the duration of Maghrib is that amount in which you can perform 3 rakats. Right? So technically speaking, that would be like 5 minutes. So the time is only 5 minutes, right? And why? You say, لأن جبرائيل عليه السلام أما في يومين في وقت واحد. You say, look here, normally in all the salahs, Nabi Sallallahu perform, when Jibreel came, he performed the same salat at the entry time. Then the next day he came, he performed it at the exit time, and he said, look here, what is between these 2 times is the time of your salah. But if you look at Maghrib, the first day he performed Maghrib immediately after sunset. And the second day, Jibreel performed Maghrib immediately after sunset for Nabi Sallallahu. So this shows there's no window period. There's only one time, you understood? That's the reasoning of this qawl. لأن جبرائيل, because Jibreel alayhi salam, أما في يومين, he was the Imam for 2 days. في وقت واحد, in one time. In one time. So to show you there's no in between time. There's no window period in between. Right. Is everything okay? Must I continue? Right. Right. Now, so that is the proof for that. But I told you, I mentioned before, you can never take a different madhabs, fatwa or call from your kitabs, because, likulli fan in rijal. If you want the fatwa Shafi, you must go to the Shafis. If you want the Hanafi fatwa, go to the Hanafi. This is just for us to understand the kitab properly. Maybe most of the time, maybe 80% of the time, if you find a Shafi in a Hanafi, Masla in a Hanafi book, it will be مفتى به, but there is a slim possibility, right? So ولنا قوله عليه السلام أول وقت المغرب حين تغرب الشمس. We got a clear hadith. It says that أول وقت المغرب, that the first time of Maghrib, حين تغرب الشمس, is when the sun set. وآخر وقتها حين يغيب الشفق, and the last time of it is when the twilight disappears. So this shows you there is a window period. There is a window period in between, right? So then the question comes about. So some say, okay, here you got a statement of Nabi Sallallahu that Isha is from sunset till the twilight disappear. I'm still going to explain to you what is twilight in detail just now, right? So, uh, what then does it hadith mean that Jibreel read both days Maghrib on the same time? We say, وَمَا رَوَى كَانَ لِلتَّحَرُّزِ عَنِ الْكَرَاهَةِ. We say, look here, you know, to read Maghrib, to all the salahs now, we don't read it exactly about the entry time. Isha, you read a bit late, etc. But Maghrib, it is best to read it the moment the time comes in. It is best to read it the moment the time. So Jibreel, if we take the hadith to be correct, that he read Maghrib both days on the entry time, then just to show Nabi Sallallahu in the Sahaba came that this is the best time. It is not good to delay it beyond this. Right? Read your Maghrib the moment the time come in. So Wama Rawahu, what he narrated about reading Maghrib both days on the same time, lit taharruzi anil karahati. It is to abstain from any type of reprehensibility. Reprehensibility, it means going beyond that. Right. So I was telling you, I told you I'm going to explain what is bayab, also what is shafaq. So see, when it gets dark, the us, why is it dark? Because we moved away. We moved away from the sun. So when the earth just moves away from the sun, despite it not facing the sun, but because it's close to the sun, you still see a redness on the atmosphere, right? And that is from the sun, isn't it? Now, when you move further, because you're moving further away from the sun, you don't see that redness, but now you see a whiteness on the horizon. And that is also the result of the light from the sun, because light, if you're throwing light or you're shining light, as the further you go away from the light, it becomes dimmer, dimmer, dimmer till it disappears. So, same thing, when you move a little away from the sun sets, then you're still getting some of the light, which is the redness. Then, when you move further, then you still getting some light, that is the whiteness. And the same thing happens Fajr time also. As the earth turns into the angle of the sun, first you get is whiteness because you're getting a bit lighter, and you go closer, you get whiteness turn into a redness, and if it turn closer, then it turn into maybe a yellowness, and then you get the sun. So as you're drawing closer to the sun, you are getting more exposure to the light of the sun. Similarly, as the earth is turning away from the sun, it is having lesser exposure, so it gets darker, darker, darker. So that white light that you see immediately after sunset is called ashafakul ahmar. What is it called? You can say it's the red twilight. And then when you move a bit more further away from the sun, then you get ashafakul abyad. That is the white twilight. So, according to us, the Hanafis, actually not the Hanafi, in fact, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, that of Maghrib time ends and Isha time starts when the white twilight goes away. So when you come out in the sky and you see this absolutely dark, the redness has disappeared from the horizon and the whiteness has disappeared from the horizon. Now that is the entry time of Isha. They're saying, ثم الشفق. Now we spoke about twilight. What is the twilight? هو البياض الذي في الأفق. It is the whiteness. It is the whiteness when that disappear, right? ثم الشفق والبياض الذي في الأفق بعد الحمرة. The whiteness it comes after the redness in the Abi Hanifata rahimallahu ta'ala, according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahimallahu ta'ala, right? Uh, وعندهما, but according to Sahibain and Imam Shafi, and I think also the Imam Thalatha, وعندهما هو الحمرة. It is the redness. So now I told you the original thing is to look, and in all the years people would look in the sky, etc. They see, okay, the redness is gone now. So according to the Shafis, they can read the Isha. And then the whiteness is gone. They say now according to the Hanafis, they can read. But more or less, it will differ from season to season, from place to place, etc. But more or less, this will be according to the Hanafi madhab, if you want to be safe. But you must do it, inshallah. The stuff we're learning, you must do it. Take out the time tonight, go out and watch the sky every 5 minutes, see where when the redness disappear, see where the whiteness disappear. But if you look at the period of about 1 hour, 25 minutes, then by then the whiteness would also have disappeared from the sky. The whiteness would also have disappeared from the sky, right? And maybe at 1 hour 5 minutes or so, by then the redness would disappear. Now, this is masla is similar to the other masla of the asr time. Like I told you, if you find yourself in an area where they're reading asr according to the Shafi time, the ulama will say it's better you must read it. Here in PE all the years, the big Shafi Masjid Taqwa, they used to read according to the where they used to read according to when the whiteness disappear. But I know now recently there's a new imam that has been appointed there here by Madrid Taqwa, and he tried to bring the Isha very, very early. So he is practicing strictly on the Shafi madhab. So if you look at especially in Ramadan because of the Taraweeh, so he was like maybe like an hour, 5 minutes after the sun sets, they were starting the Isha namaz already. So that might be a problem for us Hanafis. That's what I'm saying. Because I said the fatwa, like how the fatwa in the Hanafi madhab, the default ruling is Asr time comes in after two mithal, right? And here also the fatwa, although it is opinion in the Hanafi madhab according to Sahibain, but strictly speaking, the fatwa in the Hanafi madhab is after the Shafiqah, Abyad disappear. So can we go and read there now? To be honest with you, now I told you some ulama have mentioned with regards to the Asr Masla, but now with regards to this Isha Masla, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Generally, all, the Shafi masjids, all of them, they wait till the Hanafi time come in. They wait till the Hanaf. But I know here, since this new leadership hierarchy, he was pushing to have it very, very early. And it appears that he's reading the Shafi madhab, which could pose a problem for the Hanafis. So we need to look at that. And right. So so here is also what were riwayat on Abi Hanifa that the shafaq being also the red one is also a riwayat according to Abu Hanifa, right? وهو قول الشافعي, and it's also a statement of Imam Shafi, right? And why? So I remember I told you that it appeared to be two opinions in the Shafi madhab, and this opinion of Imam Shafi. The second opinion here is, I mean, the first opinion is that just that amount of time which you can read the Maghrib. The second opinion is, which is the fatwa, is on this here, which is the Ash-Shafaqat al-Ahmar. And what's the proof for Imam Shafi? وهو قول الشافعي لقول السلام الشفق الحمرة. The shafaqa is the redness, right one. ولأبي حنيفة رحمه الله تعالى قول عليه السلام. So Imam Hanifa's opinion was that once the whiteness disappear, which I told you is more or less maybe you can say 1 hour 25 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes, and that is what we normally work on, right? So what's our proof for that? There's a proof. لقوله عليه السلام آخر وقت المغرب إذا اسود الأفق. There's a clear hadith where Nabi also mentioned that the last time of Maghrib, obviously the last time of Maghrib will be the entry time of Isha. Right. آخر وقت المغرب إذا اسود الأفق, when the horizon turns completely dark. Carry on. ألبني وفي اختلاف الصحابة. Right. So now we're going to answer Imam Shafi's opinion. Here وقوله الشافعي عليه السلام الشفق الحمرة. Right. First thing we say, see, we said that Isha time comes up, starts, and Maghrib time ends when the red twilight disappears, when the red. So we say this proof of Imam Shafi is a mawquf riwayat. What is a mawquf riwayat? A mawquf riwayat is there where that which a Sahabi narrates it, but he does not attribute it to Nabi Sallallahu. Like one is a Sahabi says that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said X Y Z. So that's a marfu riwayat, right? You done it. And a maquf riwayat is where a sahabi just says something, but he does not attribute it to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Are you with me? So we're saying that our proof here, um, it is a marfu riwayat. It is not a maquf riwayat. So obviously, when something is attributed directly to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it will be stronger than the statement of a sahabi. Yes, in the absence of a marfu riwayat, then that a mawquf riwayat is a proof. In the absence of a marfu riwayat, a mawquf riwayat is a proof. But when you got a marfu riwayat, something which is directly attributed to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it will get precedence. It will get precedence over a statement of a sahabi. Right? You understood that? And what's our proof? Our proof is ذكره مالك في الموطأ. The proof of Imam Shafi, Imam Malik mentions in his Muwatta, his famous book that you will also do inshallah in the final year. He clearly mentions that it is a mawquf riwayat. You understood it? Then, and in fact, the details is this: it is mawquf on Ibn Umar. Who is it mawquf on? Ibn Umar. It's actually his statement. Imam Malik mentions this. So a marfu will get precedence over mawquf. And another thing is this: if you look even amongst the Sahaba Ikram, there was ikhtilaf. Certain Sahaba Ikram said no, the shafaq is ahmar. Some Sahaba Ikram said no, the shafaq is abyad, etc., right? And then So look here, this masla, look at me 1 minute. This masla is similar to the masla of Asr. Remember, I told you there was ikhtilaf whether Asr time comes out in the second misal after the first misal. So there's doubt. So you got certainty and you got doubt. Al yaqinu la yazulu bishak. So here you got certainty. Time comes in, right, with the setting of the sun. Now time does time come out when the redness disappears. There's ikhtilaf, so that the certainty of being entered cannot be removed with the doubt of whether it has ended or not. So that's similar to that one there, right? Okay, read the next bar quickly. Just finish the next one. Yeah. So what he's saying there is this here. وأول وقت العشاء إذا غاب الشفق. So now, according to the Hanafi madhab, when the redness disappear. So, uh, the first time of Isha is obviously with the exit time of Maghrib. And according to Imam Munifa, it is the Shafaq Ahmar. According to Sahabain, is the Shafaq Abyad. And Malam Yatlu il Fajr. As long as the Fajr does not, and it was until the breaking of dawn. And we discussed this, Alhamdulillah, we went in a full circle now. We discussed in full that in detail what is the Subh Sadiq. It is the white light that spreads on the horizon. So as long as the dawn does not break, as long as the dawn does not break, this breath-wise light does not appear on the horizon, it is still Isha time. It is still Isha time. So just for your information, the end time of Isha, the starting time of Fajr, the end time of Tahajjud, the end time of eating if you want to fast, all the same time. Right? It is ma'alam yatlu al-fajr. لقوله salam, because of the statement of Nabi Sallallahu وآخر وقت العشاء, Nabi Sallallahu clearly mentioned that the last time of Isha, حين لم يطلع الفجر, as long as the Fajr and earlier the dawn has not risen, right? وهو حجة على الشافعي, and this is also a proof among against Shafi في تقديري بذهاب ثلث الليل, in him fixing the going of ثلث الليل is what? 1/3 of the night. So there is, I don't think the fatwa, again, I don't think the fatwa is on the Shafi madhab here. But maybe it's just opinion in his madhab. So this is a clear proof against Imam Shafi that no, Fajr or rather Isha time lasts right until the breaking of the dawn. So even if you read your Isha just before, sometimes it happen maybe, or maybe like, normally when you are traveling, there's a lot of flexibility that, this, we'll discuss this. It's called Jam Suri. You're traveling, you don't want to stop. So you stop for 2 times. Normally, it's better to read the Salah in its proper time, like how, inshallah, the next discussion we're going to do here is the mustahab times of Salah. Like when you should, these are the permissible times, the better times, the awla times, we're going to discuss it. But I told you, when you're traveling this latitude, maybe you're traveling by night or something, so you don't want to stop now for Isha and Fajr. So now you stop one time for Isha and Fajr one time. So just hypothetically, Subh Sadiq is 6 o'clock. Subh Sadiq is 6 o'clock, right? So you stop at past 5, right? You read your Isha namaz, you read your Tahajjud namaz, everything. Then just 6 o'clock is supposed to, by 10 to 6, you read your witr namaz, because if you can, the best thing is to delay your witr just till before the break of dawn. Then you wait a few minutes, call out azan out, you read your sunnahs, and then you do your fajr. So you can read Isha right till that time. You can write. Although there is a Aula time, we will discuss it tomorrow. But I told you, when you are traveling this latitude, so you can delay your Isha time right through till before Fajr time. Or maybe you're on a plane, whatever. And then, you're going to make one wudu just to read both salats, whatever. Then you can practice upon this. There's no problem. So that karahat for delaying out of the best times, it drops away in Safar. In Safar, there is some latitude. So long as you do it in the fixed times, you can move it around in the fixed times. But anyway, more of that tomorrow, inshallah. بس سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك الله بحمدك ونشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. الله تعالى accept.